Hey, you guys know that there's no better place to talk about the greatest in combat sports than Knockout Radio, baby. Let's go.
What is going on, everybody, for our final show of 2025? Be careful today. Be careful tonight. Enjoy, but be careful. And a lot of things to get off my mind. We're going to start a couple new segments and a couple new things in 2026 that you're not even aware of yet, Matthew.
Okay. All right. I like surprises.
We need a name. So I know you're at a undisclosed location. So maybe later today you can talk amongst yourselves and come up with a name. But basically it's like, do you agree or do you disagree? Or where do you stand on this subject that we're going to talk about?
Okay.
So kind of think about that over the next 50 some minutes. I did forget to start the timer. So yesterday, let's start with this. Well, first, how was your holiday? How was your Christmas? How was,
it was great. I'm up in Indiana. I don't know if you've heard or not, but
front runner.
I have a new favorite football team.
Shocking.
My favorite college team resides in Bloomington, Indiana. I was there today. I was there for lunch. I went to Mama Bear Pizza. And, it's good to be a Hoosier this time of year. It's playing against your boys, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Not necessarily my boys.
Tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
But yeah, that game is coming up. All round 2 is kicking off. So we are going to talk about that hopefully over the next couple hours. But all right, so let me get this one out. So there was a meet and greet with Mike Evans.
Okay.
At Fifth Third Bank yesterday. The first 500 people got a Mike Evans bobblehead.
Okay.
And he was signing some of them. I know that he didn't sign them all. I was there. I saw some people that not only I know, but you know.
Okay.
And there's a lot of upset people about, and here is the bobblehead.
All right.
Kind of cool. Got some video. It's already up on the YouTube channel of Mike talking about it. I talked to the first person in line. What time do you think that first person in line got there?
What time did it start?
Originally, they said it would start at noon. I believe it actually started at 1.
Man, knowing diehard fans, I'm going to say 5 a.m.
Okay. I thought 4:30. The first person got in line. He said at 5 a.m.
Okay. Well,
so
did I win a prize? Do I win the bobblehead?
No, you don't win this bobblehead. You can win. You can purchase the bobblehead from the person that you know that has already sold one for over $200.
Whoa.
Okay. So a lot of big Buccaneer fans are up in arms. And I'm almost upset that I defended these people that sold them. So give me your thoughts. And like I said, moving forward in 2026, we need to come up with a decent name, for this segment. But give me your thoughts of Buccaneer fans or alleged fans or not fans that are already selling on eBay. And ironically, my sister went to the Panthers game last Sunday, as she's a Panthers season ticket holder, and she was upset that, look, they're already on eBay for X amount of dollars. So give me your thoughts.
Well, I mean, off rip, it's kind of tacky, right? You get something for free and they sell it. But at the same time is money. I'm a capitalist. I'm an entrepreneur. So, time is money. And if somebody's going to spend 8 hours of their life waiting in the brutal elements of Tampa, Florida, outside all night without sunlight at certain points of that time, I say, it's only worth what people are willing to pay anyway. So for the people who are paying the $200, it was worth it to them to have this item, and they didn't want to do the legwork to obtain it. I think no harm, no foul. I say, make your money.
I'm almost upset that you're agreeing with me, or I'm now going to agree with you because you like to play that. And I don't want to go the other way. I don't want to say it's awful. These people stood in line, and it doesn't matter if it was at 5 a.m. 10 in the morning or got there 3 minutes before it started and or ended. Like you said, they put the time in. They did it.
My wife wouldn't let me keep the bobblehead of Mike Evans, drove it to my house personally and said, here's a Christmas gift. Number 13, she was like, you don't need any more collectibles, and you definitely need to get it out of my house.
My wife has said publicly and privately, and I've even told Ryan Westner, who owns a card collecting shop, who is the sponsor of the program, Rhino Cards, the day I die, she's blowing the house up. She's not giving the stuff away. She's not. Well, let's start with she's not selling the stuff, which is some that are very some stuff that I have is so valuable. I have it in a safe at a bank, burning it all. She doesn't care. I told Ryan Westner, get to my house before it's announced that I'm dead, and try to grab what you can because
make sure you spell my name right in the will.
Well, what name? First of all, you're not going to be in the will.
Oh, I'm in the will. We are live on the radio. This is a live studio audience. Apparently, I have.
Did they buy a ticket to get in? We will have Danny on from Precision Accounting and Tax Solutions in the next week or two to talk about your name change. Now, does your family know that if it can be done, you are changing your name, or is it going to be like everything else you do? You talk a big game, but you're not going to follow through.
Well, that's the thing. If I can change my name legally to Matt, and I don't lose my inheritance from the live studio audience here in the background, then I'm absolutely changing it. As long as I don't lose the rights to my kids, but I've already lost my kids. It's been, I think, 4 days and I haven't seen them. I mean, they've been over at my sister's house. They're at the movies right now, apparently somewhere in Indiana. It's amazing. And you know what? I almost forgot I even have children.
And I'm sure they're upset about that. That's why they're gone. They're hoping that you get lost, and they all return home and you stay up there. All right. So that was the first thing that I did want to kind of talk about. Here's another one, and I'm arguing with myself. Now, I spoke to someone near and dear to me, my son, who's also involved with Knockout Radio. And he gave me his opinion, and he said, as usual, I'm an idiot. Because what I'm about to talk about, I don't believe is a rule or a law. It is an unwritten rule in the military. Okay. I came across the alleged shooter of Osama bin Laden. Okay. Are you with me? Are you listening to me?
Yeah, I'm listening. Like, I'm on a live show right now, and I have like a bartender going on in the background, shaking mixed cocktails. I apologize for the live family audience.
So Robert O'Neill, who I believe, or at least he says, and somebody has validated that his bullet was the one that killed Osama bin Laden.
Okay.
Now, I did do a little bit of research, which is rare for you, me, and Knockout Radio. And another SEAL that was there, his story is Osama bin Laden had been hit already, and his shot, this Robert O'Neill, might have been the final shot. So there is some discrepancy from different people as to who did the kill shot. I believe the unwritten rule, and you know me and where I stand with unwritten rule, is you don't talk about it. You don't divulge. You don't want people to know because obviously for many reasons, one being somebody can come after you for you taking the kill shot. He is autographing Time magazines. He is autographing 9/11 jerseys. He's autographing replica helmets that they wore and selling them for, I believe it's $6.99 a pop.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I mean, it's a little, I think, man, it's a job. Like, you're a military service member, you're doing a job. You're paid by the government to do that job. Now we're privatizing like autographs and memorabilia from doing the job. I think it's a little suspect. I mean, it's a little, that's not what I would expect from a SEAL. Like, SEAL just kind of keep that stuff private. I did hear last night on Kill Tony, the #1 podcast in the world, live show, Tony Hinchcliffe. He had a guy.
We're chasing him. We're chasing him. We're approaching. Just so you know.
But the guy had a big beard. He's like a Muslim guy, and Tony said he called him Osama bin Eaton. Oh, and that was hilarious. But yeah, I think the SEALs and any military special forces that are, trying to become celebrities after the fact and like do because they did their job in their service, and now they're trying to monetize it privately and personally. I think it's cheesy.
But again, and now I'm going to argue with myself because this just hit me. If you remember the movie Lone Survivor about, I think it's Marcus Luttrell.
Okay.
He was making money. There was a book about him.
Is that the black?
No, it's the Lone Survivor.
Okay.
That's
the movie.
The movie was Lone Survivor, and Mark Wahlberg.
I think there's a difference, though. I think the difference is if you're on a Black Hawk and it goes down, you're the lone survivor, and you survive this horrific crash and this will to live and this survival. It's kind of like the Rambo story. I think that's a different story. I think that's a different concept. But like talking about like it was your duty to blow up the wall, breach the wall, shoot Osama bin Laden. Like if you're going through and making money off of like fulfilling your duty, I think it's different.
Well, how can it be different? Because the other is the same thing. He was doing his job and he survived. So,
yeah, but it was an accident. It was a survival. It was it happened to.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. One or the other. Pick one.
I'm going to say keep the military private.
Okay. And that's what I was thinking. It's like, especially if it's that code, the Green Berets, SEALs, all of them have their own code, but it's not necessarily a rule or a law. So I am arguing with myself. So that's just another one of those things that I did want to talk to you about.
First rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. So first rule of Navy SEALs should be don't talk about Navy SEALs.
Well, he didn't get in trouble for it. They're not coming after him for it. The terrorists haven't come after him now that everybody knows it's him. So, I don't know.
Club soda, not SEALs.
You have been saying for years, too much MMA, too much UFC, too much. It's now we're 3 weeks without one. It'll be another 3 weeks until a UFC. Are you missing it yet?
Not yet.
You want the good news or the bad news?
There's going to be one before they change their mind. No. Okay.
Good news or bad news? Good news or bad news?
Give me the good.
The good news. Well, as far as you're concerned, there is no good news. Okay. This would only be bad news for you. We are going to start something else in 2026.
Okay.
And now that the UFC is on Paramount, which means you don't have to buy the pay-per-view. You don't have to illegally stream. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying the public. On and on and on.
Homework? Am I going to have like assignments every week now?
We're going to go live during the main card of a lot of the upcoming UFCs.
Damn it.
So we're going to do – we don't necessarily have to do the whole thing until midnight because, I'll fall asleep. Old time, is going to conk out early. But now that it's on Paramount and it's either free – if you have Spectrum, it's free. So we'll be able – we can't do play-by-play. We can't do commentary, but we can talk about the event. We can talk about what's coming up. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of sponsorship involved. And that's the plan.
Well, speaking of sponsorships, we should go to Kentucky. There's a car dealership here called Audubon Chrysler Dodge, I think it is. And on the billboard driving into town, it says, get a knockout deal. And it's got a girl with boxing gloves on. And so knockout, big and bold on the billboard. So maybe a little Midwest Knockout Radio sponsorship is in order.
Ironically, you say that because I'm thinking about bringing the Knockout Radio van back.
Really?
I'm thinking about it.
You have to get a van.
Well, that would be a good start.
Start with the Knockout Radio van. That's cool.
But I'm thinking about it. I've already started reaching out to some of the fighters for approval to use their likeness on the van.
I have an idea. Why don't we do it on the Jeep? And then we'll have like interchangeable doors. So like we could have like a set of 8, 10, 12. We could keep growing the entourage, but like each day you just change the doors out and there'd be a different set of 4.
You don't wear shoes. What makes you think you're going to change doors?
Ironically, since I've been in Indiana, I have now acquired 4 new pair. I have 4 more. I have 4 pair of shoes right now.
Well, you can leave them at the airport. But I'm glad you brought that up, because my third subject that I need to talk to you about, and of course, I had to get involved on the Book of Face and argue with some people. A family of 4 flew somewhere and then went ballistic at the airport when the 4 were not able to sit next to each other. They had 2 smaller children,
okay,
and they had to sit randomly throughout the plane. Me being me, I had to get involved. I just, as you know, recently bought tickets to take my 5-year-old granddaughter on her first plane ride. We're doing it in a couple of weeks, and I had to buy seats. You know, normally I don't buy the seat because I don't care where I sit. Well, you have to buy them. You're a family of 4, soon to be there'll be the family of 3 and you. But right now there's all 4 of you. Did you buy 4 seats?
What? No, I didn't buy 4 seats.
So you didn't care where everybody sat?
Well, my kids are older and they don't really want to sit with us. I know when we got off the Allegiant plane, if you saw my photo from when we touched down, I sat next to the pilot in the cockpit, which was an amazing experience.
Most fathers would let their children do that, but that didn't surprise me that it was you and not them.
Well, I think the guy was going to let me fly the plane. I mean, if I would have stuck around for like one more session, you know, I think I was ready. I most likely qualified to fly a Allegiant plane. I mean, maybe not a Frontier, but I got to work my way up.
I don't know. They're both pretty compatible. I've been on them both. I'll be on Allegiant in 3 weeks. I don't really want to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're not going to talk much MMA because there really hasn't been any, other than the news about Cain Velasquez. I guess his parole has been pushed back to, I believe, to 2027 now.
Okay.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, yesterday I went out to the press conference. It definitely appeared like Dead Man Walking. Okay. And somebody asked Todd Bowles if he's reached out for any advice. Has he reached out to anybody and talked to him as he's going through this procedure? And Todd came up with the classic response that I think tells you what's going to happen either Sunday or Monday. Todd Bowles' comment was, "I've been through this before." Todd Bowles has been through this before when he was fired by the New York Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, it's win or go home.
It's not, not at all. It's not that at all. It's not win or go home. They can win and still not move on. You do know that, right?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Carolina Panthers on Saturday, and the Atlanta Falcons beat the New Orleans Saints, which the way Atlanta played on Monday, they will beat the New Orleans Saints. If that happens, it doesn't matter that the Bucs beat the Panthers on Saturday. The Carolina Panthers will be your Southern division champions.
Well, does it even matter at this point? I mean, didn't we already have the Super Bowl when the Chicago Bears played the 49ers 2 days ago in a back and forth like Super Bowl game? I mean, what game could be more compelling than the last pick of the NFL draft, Brock Purdy, versus the number 1 superstar, Caleb Williams out of USC, who demanded ownership of the team by being drafted first round draft pick to the Bears, back and forth, and then Purdy winning in the same stadium where the Super Bowl will be held at a home field advantage game. I mean, what do we need to go to the Super Bowl for? Like,
well, first and foremost, let's check on your math.
Okay.
Because I believe the game was 3 days ago.
Was it 3 days ago?
Yeah.
It was a couple days ago.
Well, a couple is 2.
Okay, back then, it was like, what, it was a Sunday night game, right?
Right. It was a Sunday night game. Today's Wednesday. That's 3 days.
Yeah, it is Wednesday. Damn it. I keep losing days. You know, time stands still in the Midwest. Like, literally nothing happens here.
You told me that.
Like,
yeah, you did tell me that. But no, they still need to play the game. They still need to play the Super Bowl, as we will be headed out there, at least I will, to San Fran for the Super Bowl for Radio Row, if credentialed. We're still waiting for the credentials. So yes, they do still need to play the game. And I was just telling some people that's the biggest story. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, and waited his time, went out and produced, got the big contract, and craziness. Now, I did speak to some people today. I know you're not big into a lot of stats or anything else, but who's the comeback player of the year?
Comeback player of the year?
In the NFL, who do you think would be the comeback player of the year?
Oh, God. I'm going to say it's going to be somebody I don't think of, right? So it's probably going to be like Stephon Diggs.
How about Phillip Rivers?
Oh, no, he's suffocation player of the year, allegedly. Allegedly, he's the strangulation player of the year.
Well, he'll win some awards. See, I mean, how about the greatest act of the year? We've talked about this before. His insurance was going to be up as they get it for 5 years or whatever after they retire.
Rivers.
And Phillip Rivers now gets it for another 5 years and his family. That's a win-win.
Well, because he has 10 kids and he needs that.
11.
11 kids. Wow.
Yeah, 11. And grandkids.
Speaking of the Colts, I was just in Indianapolis today. Didn't see much Colts banner flying. All I saw was IU swag. How's Pittman Jr. doing? How's the boys?
I haven't talked to either one in a while. Doing as good as they can do, knowing that in 4 days, they're going home. They're leaving. Things are done. I believe Junior has like a massive farm. I don't know if it's up there in Indiana, but I believe he has a farm. And it's a shame because the two teams that had the biggest blow up are your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and your Indianapolis Colts. The Colts were like 7-1. The Bucs were like 6-2. Yeah. And now the Colts are already out, and come this weekend, probably on Saturday, the Bucs will be eliminated. And I know the sure way to get the Bucs to lose. I'm telling you, I know how to either have the Bucs win or lose. You want to know what?
Bet on them.
Bet on or against them.
Okay. Right.
You know why the Rams lost Monday night? Because I had a 4-team parlay for $35 on the Rams.
Getting this gambling thing.
It's awesome. It's and anybody who knows me would think, huh? I'm doing dollar bets. I know someone that put more money than I could afford to lose in a year on the Bucs to beat Miami, knowing he was a moron. And of course, we saw what happened there. As long as you bet what you can afford to lose, and I think I can afford to lose a couple dollars a week. It's still cool to me. Losing $1 pisses me off, so I'm as invested as somebody who's betting hundreds of dollars.
Does it make you? I mean, does it change your love for sports now? I mean, you've been in media for 40 years. Like, it gets old, it gets stagnant. I mean, come on. I mean, I've been doing this 15 years, and half the time I don't even care or watch.
Half? Hold on a second. If you're going to talk on a live radio program or a tape radio program, or if you're going to talk in the bathroom, or if you're going to talk privately to yourself, don't lie. Not half the time.
All right. So after the things happen, people tell me what happened, and then I just form an opinion and I talk about it on Knockout Radio. But like I think if I had money invested, even if it was a small amount, I think I would care. I would at least like watch the final plays, to see if I won or lost. It's kind of like lottery.
That's why I'm doing this with $1 or $2, because now I do actually kind of watch the games. I don't like walk out and get all pissed off, and because I want to know.
Or do you do like the lottery? Do you you buy it? You buy the lottery ticket, and then you go to bed. And then the lottery happens. The next day you check your phone, like winning numbers. Like, do you do it that way? Or are you watching live in real time to see if you win like on the spot?
Well, I don't gamble on the lottery.
Well, apparently the AI generated the winning ticket, the $1 billion ticket in Arkansas.
I heard that in the background. I heard one of the fans there at your location.
My research interns.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sleeping with her. So, I got perks.
You better be careful. You saw what happened in Michigan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Sure, you get in trouble for that these days. But yeah, she's from Brazil. And, but she told me that the AI generated the winning lottery number. So conspiracy theorists alike? Is there controversy in that theory? Like, can anybody do that?
Well, anybody can do it. It's just a matter of who AI likes and who they don't.
Sure.
Because they already know. They got it planned.
What's the first thing you do with $1.5 billion, Randall Harris?
Well, first of all, you wouldn't get 1.5 billion.
Right.
You'd only be able to walk away with, I think, 493 million.
Yeah, that's what it is. But okay, so you get $500 million. Okay. You're a couple million behind your brother. What are you betting? what are you doing with the money? Like, what do you first purchase, Randy?
A block on my phone.
That's smart. Would you call?
Yeah, I would get rid of
you call your new tax guy and set up a trust. Like, what's your tax guy's name again? Because I need that guy's number.
Daniel. Yeah, we talked. He's waiting for you to call.
Okay.
Daniel at Precision.
I get my name changed. I got
Daniel is at, well, at least let me get his name out before you continue to talk. Yeah, Daniel at Precision Accounting and Tax Solutions. They're located right across from the, and here's another thing that blows my mind. They're located directly across the airport. All right. It's called the St. Petersburg Clearwater Airport, yet I'm pretty sure it's not in St. Petersburg.
It's Clearwater?
Well, I believe that's Clearwater.
Is it unincorporated?
I don't know, but just, and it's kind of like the Navy Army game. Wouldn't Clearwater St. Petersburg, because of the C is before the S? Why is it called the St. Petersburg Clearwater Airport? These are things that are interesting at the end of 2025.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
But that's good, because I need a tax guy. I got questions. I got to set up some structure for new corporations. Got to launch this vertical gym company this year, this freedom movement. I got big plans for 2026. Randy, do you set New Year's resolutions? Are you a New Year resolution guy? Are you going to get in the gym and get your six-pack back? And
no, I stopped. I started doing it like 12 years ago when I said I was going to replace my co-host, and it never seems to work. So I just stopped.
Sounds good. Well, at least your heart didn't stop this year. We got the 99% Widowmaker. We got close.
No, I don't make any of that stuff. It's kind of like, I always upset people during the holidays, because I hate the holidays. I hate being told that I have to buy gifts, whether it's Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, a gun to my head, whatever. I want to buy a gift if I want to buy a gift. My wife gave me a gift 2 weeks before Hanukkah. Same thing with New Year's resolutions. Why do you wait till January 1st to go to the gym? How about start now? I went 2 days ago. I started back up. My wife's now able to go to the gym. So
nice.
The silver sneaker deal was working out pretty well.
Love it.
I always love a free gym.
Yeah. Silver Sneaker is a great program. Get your steps in. It's good.
So what are your New Year's resolutions that you're not going to follow through with?
Well, I'm going to get organized.
All right. Next one you're not going to do?
I'm gonna pay my taxes.
Next one you're not going to do?
I'm going to start smoking. Speaking of smoking, Clay Guida has a cigar now. He's got the Carpenter line, and I know he's giving away a competition. He's doing a giveaway for January 1st. I'm not saying that you should actually look like the Carpenter to win, but I think if you have the same hair as your boy Jesus and the Clay Guida, I think I'm a shoe-in. I think I should win the box of cigars.
I don't think that's how raffles and giveaways work.
Oh, dang! That's why I'm not good at the Powerball.
God. Yeah, let's do a raffle and you're going to win. No, it doesn't work that way.
Well, I was in a raffle for the Align mat, the PEMF mat, the Pulse Electronic Magnetic Field mat. And then they put, why should you win this raffle? Why should you be the one chosen? And I put, well, if it's going to go to a biohacker named Matt, it should be one name, Matt. M at symbol. You know what I mean. And I still lost. I gave it to two other people. I probably will never use it. Probably sits in a closet.
All right, hold on. Let's go back to something I talked about to start the show then. So would you be upset if whoever won whatever this thing is, if they sold it?
Not if they sold it, but I'd be upset if they won it and they just didn't use it and they didn't utilize the technology and the healing frequency and the fact that it actually will literally change your life. Like, I'd be upset that they didn't take advantage of the resources they had disposable to their.
So it would be okay that they wouldn't use this apparatus and sell it or give it away. That's okay.
The person that's going to buy it from them is going to have value for it, and they will probably use it. Like, I mean, honestly, like, so at least it goes to someone who's actually going to use it and make their life better. And I'm all for that. Self-improvement and upgrading your lifestyle and your cellular energy and your cellular health. Like, here in Indiana, we went to a thrift store and I found a grounding mat where you plug it into the ground in your outlet, and it's a mat that you lay on or you can stand on, and it does the same effect as being grounded outside in the grass and on the earth, except it's indoors. And somebody had lost value for it. They had given it up at some, thrift store, and I got it for $10, bro. $10.
How are you going to get that on the plane? I know you don't have luggage.
Well, I mean, my intern has luggage.
Okay.
I mean, I snuck her into the country. I can get a mat home, and I can just claim it as a medical device. So even if they say, hey, you can't, it's over the limit, I'm like, this is a medical device. And then what can they say then?
They can say, prove it. Do you have a note from your doctor?
Oh, yes. I am a PhD.
Oh, God.
No, I forgot. I have a PhD. That's what it is. I'm not a PhD. I have a PhD.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of PhDs, did you know that beet juice is great for circulatory system? It's great to get better blood flow. And apparently in Indiana, they use beet juice in trucks driving down the highway today, spraying beet juice onto the highways to prevent ice from building up during the snow. That it lowers the freezing point or elevates it. I don't even know why they do that. But there's literally dried beet juice on all the highways in Indiana right now.
Could you explain to some of our listeners, because as you know, and we haven't talked about this in a while, we have a massive listenership in India, not Indiana, India.
I'm huge.
You said a word that I'm sure they're not familiar with, and we're not really familiar with that word down in the southeast as well. What's freezing mean?
Yeah. So apparently when water gets really cold, it turns into this thing called ice. And then apparently, like, colder than that, it turns into this thing called snow. It's like white powder that falls from the sky. And then it gets on the roads and then makes everything slip and slippery, like slickery dock. And yeah, it's a phenomenon that happens, I guess, every winter. I don't know.
But I thought there's a way. I thought there's a way to combat all that. You just throw a whole bunch of salt on the road.
Well, that salt corrodes the cars. It rusts out the chassis. So beet juice, which is great for your heart health, Randall Harris, the NO2 to get nitric oxide naturally.
I'm sorry, are you Russell Peters?
Oh no, that's the other Indian. He's the Punjab, not native. But yeah, and Russell likes cigars, so let's get him in the competition with Clay Guida. Let's see if Russell can win a box. Oh wait, no, that's favoritism. What would you call it again?
Illegal.
You're going to win?
A set illegal. I think if Russell Peters wanted it, Clay Guida would just give it to him. Not from the raffle, not from the giveaway, because you can't do that. That's against the law. He would just give them, the company would just give, just like, Alex, provides cigars to Russell all the time. Yeah. It's not a raffle. It's just here. Enjoy this $800 stick.
Yeah, I got a great one here. This one's actually from Nicaragua, but there is an American company called American Spirits Tobacco. They have no glyphosate, herbicides, pesticides, chemicals. So it's pure natural soil, and it's the only one that I know of in America. Now, the place I went to didn't have it, so I had to get the Nicaraguan equal. This is, but I think we should do a sponsorship with American Spirits. If we don't win the Clay Guida, that is. I mean, free cigars trumps healthy cigars all the time, right?
What MMA fight, what UFC fight are you looking forward to, or would you like to see happen?
Man,
people are already over Aspinall. They're, which I'm totally against all these fans that think he's faking. The dude allegedly has had an eye surgery. My wife just went through it, and her eye still isn't better, and it's been 2 months.
And my father just went to the eye doctor today. He had a cornea transplant last year in June, still has the stitches in. He got the clearance today that the stitches come out in this June. So that's 12 months with stitches in his eye. So an eye injury is devastating. To be the heavyweight champion and to have both eyes poked in the same fight, the recovery is long. Who knows what it does to his depth perception? Who knows if he'll ever get that same kind of read and range, or his vision will ever be the same. So I think you're right. I think we're kind of past Aspinall. I think people are like over it. I don't even know who anybody wants to see fight right now. I mean, I think
people want to see Topuria fight. He's not going to fight for quite some time for some personal reasons.
He's fighting for custody, and he's fighting he's fighting for his fortune, his wealth.
or no, I believe he's fighting for half of his fortune.
Yeah, he's fighting for half of his, prize money. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Well, they don't call you the best for nothing.
I mean, I just haven't been keeping up with it, man. To be honest with you, I haven't been watching much. I mean, the only thing I know really right now is going on is the Anthony Joshua is fighting for, his health after a car wreck. You see that in Nigeria?
I did not.
He got a car wreck. He was riding in the car. Two of his people, two of his corner guys and training partners or coaches or whatever, died in the car wreck. It happened yesterday or 2 days ago. But he was unconscious for 10 minutes. Wow. So now there's a bunch of online trolls going through showing the curse of Jake Paul, that if you fight Jake Paul, shortly after you will have double lung surgery. You'll be a Ben Askren. You'll be Tyron Woodley, where you don't remember you don't remember how to fight. I mean, they're trolling hard. Anthony Joshua, people die. I mean, it's getting out of hand.
I know this isn't related, but since you were talking about people dying, I did see on my book of face, Gorgeous George from MMA Junkie posted that they just lost one of their staff, one of their teammates. I think he was one of their producers, editors, passed away at a pretty young age. So I do want to, give a little shout out, to those guys over there. The second longest combat UFC / show in the country, probably in the world.
And speaking of death, and I was at the
why? What's my age got to do with now? You want to talk about death? Speaking of death,
I was at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway today, the greatest sports spectacle in the world, the Indy 500. But being in the race capital of the world, in news coming out that Denny Hamlin's father died in a house fire. Mother's fighting for her life. So the NASCAR world, last couple weeks ago, lost Greg Biffle in a plane crash heading down to Sarasota, our neck of the woods, and now another tragedy in the race community. So
let's start another argument, controversy, whatever.
Ooh, okay.
Just because people in Indiana believe that of the Indianapolis 500 Speedway, just like people in Florida and Daytona believe the same thing that they believe in Indiana, they believe at the Daytona 500. Just like Las Vegas claims to be the fight capital of the world, until there's an event in New York City and then it's Madison Square Garden. Just people make this up. This is the greatest statue. This is the greatest arena. This is the greatest speedway.
I mean, until Gomer Pyle comes and sings at the Daytona 500, I'm going to say that Jim Neighbors singing Back Home in Indiana is the greatest walkout song of all time.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. Let me think. Anytime again.
Why not?
That'll happen the exact same time that the voice of the Philadelphia Flyers, Kate Smith, comes out and sings the national anthem, or Elvis Presley.
All right. One hell of a concert. That sounds like an Elton John farewell tour.
Yeah, which has been going on since 1980. but it is funny. America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. America's most hated team, the New York Yankees. Blah, 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 blah. America's most hated athlete, Tom Brady. Who names all this stuff? And then people just roll with it.
Yeah. It's wild. But speaking of America's favorite baseball team, the Pinstripes, I'm sitting in the same town as the legendary Hall of Famer, Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly.
Well, except for you're wrong again, as usual.
Oh, Donald Mattingly.
I think you would have to be elected into the Hall of Fame before you're called a Hall of Famer.
Well, he's still active. It's like the Phillip Rivers, insurance thing. He's still coaching. He's still playing. He's still getting paid by Major League Baseball. He's not eligible till he retires.
No, that's not true.
Isn't that what they say?
No.
Can we just put him in the hall? He doesn't.
You know what? I hate to say this because I never want to agree, make it sound like I'm agreeing. I don't even want it to appear like like we like each other. But it is surprising, honestly, that I would understand if a Don Mattingly played for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays or the Tampa Bay Rays, or I don't know, the Arizona whatevers or the Seattle whatevers. But this is a guy that was very good on one of the most popular teams in the sport. You would think that Don Mattingly would be in the Hall of Fame because of his numbers. I mean, let's be honest. He had that streak of home runs and consecutive home runs and, other Yankees. I am surprised. And I believe he's one of the top non-Hall of Famers, of that list. And I think they also.
I mean, he had the defense. I mean, he was a stud, right?
He was.
Now, if he would have won a championship with Toronto Blue Jays this year, if he would have got a ring, if he would have been able to say, like North American champion.
No.
Don Mattingly, because he can't say World Series because they don't play all the other countries, not the Olympics. But North American champion, Toronto Blue Jays, Donald Mattingly from Evansville, Indiana, first ballot Hall of Famer?
Well, obviously not a first ballot because his ballots have been out for 30-some years now. When did Don Mattingly retire? Alexa, when did Don Mattingly retire from Major League Baseball?
He's still playing. Still active.
He retired in 1995.
He retired in 95. So 95, 05, 50, 30 years ago. So he's been eligible for 25 years.
Well, when he was with the Marlins, was he with the Marlins?
As a coach, it's two entirely different things.
There's election issues with ballots in Florida. The Chad system back when Gore and
hanging
Bush.
Chads. Yeah.
So maybe there's a hanging Chad. Yeah, like a hanging Chad kept Don Mattingly out of the Hall of Fame. Let's get Trump to pardon him and put him in.
Well, first he could only pardon him. I don't think he could. Well, it's Donald Trump. He can do anything he wants. But in my opinion, Don Mattingly should never go into the Hall of Fame now, ever. But he will. He'll go in, as the old timer.
They're going to do it after he's dead, like Pete Rose. They're going to lift the restriction, put Pete Rose in, and then his family will have to celebrate it like it's some kind of, honorary thing.
The difference is, there is a difference of those two. Pete Rose is now eligible because he was banned for life, and his life is now expired. Don Mattingly has been eligible, just not having the votes to make him a Hall of Famer.
Well, who makes the votes? Is it the press? Is it you?
Yeah.
It's guys like you, right?
Yeah.
Do you still have a voting seat like with the AP?
I vote a lot. Yeah.
So put my boy in. Put him on the ballot.
Well, it's just one vote. There's a local guy. I think it was a Kershaw. One of the top pitchers in the history of Major League Baseball, a local reporter who did have votes for the Hall of Fame or MVP or it was Cy Young, didn't have him in the top 5. If he would have put him 5th, and he should have been first, if they would have given him the 5th place vote, he wins the Cy Young. Wow, so it's unfortunate because all of these ballots, all of these Hall of Fames comes down to, yes, statistics, what they've done, blah, 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 and personality. Because don't tell me that this reporter didn't have a problem with that pitcher.
So is it like the politics? Does certain markets based on size and viewership, do they have more voting power, more reporters?
I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily more voting power. What a lot of problems with the Hall of Fames is, like, on the East Coast, they don't watch a whole lot of West Coast games.
Right.
You know, it's 10 o'clock here. Games haven't started out West yet. Now, when the game starts, you know, the reporters and stuff that are supposed to watch, they go to bed. They're not staying up till 1 a.m. to watch the Dodgers play. So that's part of it. And I think there is a lot of bias because Dale Murphy, Don Mattingly are two of the top two that they've talked about that could be, should be, but they're not.
How could Dale Murphy not be in the Hall of Fame? I mean, they named the road where the Rays or where the Bucks and the Steinbrenner Field, they named it after the guy. I mean, this is incredible. Like, how can you have a road, a major artery in Tampa named after you, and you're not in the Hall of Fame? That's crazy.
It would have made more sense if you would have said there's a gas company, you know, named, you know, owned by Murphy, because it's Murphy's. But, you know, and I know that Dale Mabry is not Dale Murphy.
Oh, so I'm not good at spelling stuff.
You're not good at a lot of stuff. So right about now, I know we're already into the game. The ReliaQuest Bowl is going on right now as we speak.
Oh, man. I miss it. I like that tradition. No. Okay, so here's a bowl question for you. Are there bowls that have more significance than others? Like, you know, the Rose Bowl, Pasadena, the Orange Bowl in Orlando. Like, are there certain bowls that mean more just because the prestige, the history, the name? Like, because I don't know what ReliaQuest is. Is that an animal? Is it a bird? What's a ReliaQuest?
Alexa, what's ReliaQuest?
Released is a verb usually defined as.
They don't know. I don't know, but, you know, I know that they have an office right off of the interstate in Tampa. But yeah, some bowl games are bigger. I mean, the Rose Bowl is one of the biggest, the Cotton Bowl. You know, now they use those for the playoff system that they're now using in college the last couple of years. I was talking to a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer who is now in his 10th year coaching at Vanderbilt. And he's like, what's up with the Cheez-It Bowl?
The Pop-Tart Bowl?
The Pop-Tart Bowl. The Snoop Dogg Bowl.
Oh, there's a Snoop Dogg Bowl?
Yeah. I believe my son said this is the last year of it. And do you know who sponsored the bowl before Snoop? And it is the Snoop Bowl. Before that was the Barstool. It was Barstool Bowl.
Wow.
Your boy, your favorite guy.
Yeah. How's he doing? I haven't seen him out lately.
I don't know. Him and Gruden have a pact.
Yeah. Is Gruden coming out of retirement?
No.
In
my opinion, no. In my opinion, until that lawsuit gets handled, I don't see him even wanting to come back to the NFL.
What about college? Could you see him at Gainesville? Could you see him as a Gator?
No.
Taking over a historic program like the old ball coach, passing it over to Chucky?
I know how much he wants to coach. I know how much he loves to coach, but he's loving life right now. There's no stress. He's getting paid stupid. People send him boxes and he opens some of them, talks about some of them. Was that a dig? Dig?
I mean, look, you know, if he's going to wear the items on live streams and then not give the credit to how he obtained them, it's just cheesy.
I love the line, "Oh, I mailed you something." Yeah, okay. Not just him. If anybody says it, if anybody knows they don't send something, they don't follow through, but they're like, "Oh, it must have got lost in the mail." That's a great line. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, look who just stopped by my studio.
Oh, Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah.
That's my boy.
I sent you a link apparently the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, had spent significant time in a local pizzeria in Evansville, Indiana called Rock-A-Bar. And it was a place where they would go after like the wrestling events and just shut down local taverns and bars. And so the American Dream has ties to Evansville, Indiana. I'll have to go find out where that place is and see what kind of history is on the wall.
And that's no different than anywhere else. I mean, there's a steakhouse, obviously, on Dale Mabry in Tampa that a lot of athletes go to. You know, when the baseball teams come in town, they're here for 3 days, for 3 nights, and they frequent, you know, some of the same, you know, establishments, whether they're bars or restaurants or whatever. So, I mean, that's normal. So that doesn't surprise me. And, you know, back in the day when everybody traveled by car and they would drive, you know, from Florida to Georgia to Mississippi to Alabama, and, you know, they would stop at these little hole in the walls or big hole in the walls. And, you know, that was their hangout. So, yeah.
How big was wrestling in the Midwest? Like, I mean, I know you talk about the Armory days and how big it was in Central Florida, but, you know, we know the finishing schools ended up down in South Dale Mabry, you know, in South Tampa. So we know that's why a lot of wrestlers called home, like Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake, such and such and such. But how big was wrestling in the Midwest?
You tell me. You're from that neck of the woods. So, you know, I can only tell you what I'm familiar with, and that would be here. And it was huge here. And the reason it was here is because Championship Wrestling from Florida was filmed in Tampa. So, you know, the guys would, you know, do the circuit, and then they would be here. I forget what day they would shoot, Tuesday or Wednesday. And then it would be shown on the weekends. And they'd have the events at the Sun Dome or the Bayfront Center, and then, you know, travel, you know, the state, the South. But I'm sure they were just as popular everywhere. You know, the Von Erichs out of Texas, you know, they controlled that. Crockett, you know, somewhere, I think he was Tennessee, or that was Jeff Jarrett and his dad. And I miss those days. It was a lot of fun. I would go to the tapings quite often. I would go to the live shows quite often. And may the legend, and you know my feeling on the word legend, may the legend Gordon Soley, R.I.P., and took great care of me and allowed me access, you know, to a lot of those guys back in the day. So very, very, very cool.
I did see a video this week, a real amateur wrestler, maybe he's pro, but, you know, there's only 20 people in the, you know, a warehouse or, you know, arena. And he climbed up into a metal rafter and attempted to jump onto a table where another wrestler was laying, waiting for him to land. And he missed the table completely, probably a 20-foot drop onto a concrete floor. And then the commentary after was like, you got to know your audience. Like, you can't take those kind of risks if only 20 people saw it. Not that those 20 people's ticket value wasn't worth it and that they didn't deserve to get a great show and they weren't important as spectators, but you didn't do that at Madison Square Garden in front of 50,000 live fans on pay-per-view globally. You know, you did it in the back of a 7-Eleven. You know,
I don't know if it's so much know your audience as it's as much as know your distance. You know, make sure you hit the object that you're attempting to hit.
It was,
you know, I think that that would be much more valuable. All right, so we got about a minute, little over a minute and a half left.
Before you go though, what was your wrestling name? What would you be if you had a wrestling name? I know you've thought about it. So, like, what would your wrestling name be?
No, honestly, I never did think about it, but I always wanted to go the manager route. I thought that would be cool. You know, Diamond Dallas Page originally was a manager, you know, doing that kind of stuff, which is the talk, which is still the part of wrestling that I enjoy the most, you know, is the talking part, the mic work, not necessarily the wrestling, because the wrestling part, as far as I'm concerned, has gotten so bad. You know, you miss by 6 blocks, you know, at least back in the day, when Dusty and Ric Flair and all them, you know, would slice themselves, at least they looked like they were bleeding. You know why? Because they were bleeding.
Well, I mean, if it was boxing and you were Cletus Selden, the champ, you could go by the Hebrew Hammer. You know, you could have like a Jewish name.
There's been a few of those already. There's been wrestlers, there's been fighters, the Hebrew Hammer. That's old news. So, well, let's start off the new year 2026 with a bang. A lot of cool stuff coming. some Vegas trips coming, some UFC stuff coming. We'll talk more about that next week. Have a safe trip. Enjoy the rest of your time in that cold hellhole or freeze hole or whatever it is up there in Indiana. And,
Go Hoosiers.
Yeah. Let's see
Go
what happens. All right,
Hoosiers.
everybody. Until next week. Be
Go
good.
Sycamores or Old Hickory.